I love it.
Hello?
I didn't mess up, not at all. Hi, T Northern. Can you hear us? We hear you. Alright, so in the chat we have Zach and Parshav. They're on the same computer. We have me, we have Omar, we have Will. T Northern, what's your actual name so I can add you, so I can give you a nickname?
What?
Well, that's upsetting. Hold on, we're trying to get T Northern set up here.
Is the stream is up?
Yep, stream is live.
Okay.
Awful screenshots, but that should explain what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the stream is... Oh, it's not terribly behind. Cool.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. We hear you. Hi, Nick.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Great. Good to hear, man.
How's my audio? Not too loud, right?
I had to turn you down, actually, but you're crystal clear, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to go through the rest of the boring stuff at the beginning of the talk. So we did some personal intros for interest, rank, and introduction. As always, for new members, we like if you happen to be watching the stream, we want you to fill out your interests, choose yourself a rank, and then choose an introduction. That way, you have full access to everything. Next thing we like to check at the beginning of every stream is the direction channel, so that we can see what comments have been made on oneleif. So if you scroll back, the last stream was on the 2nd, so we want to go to about here. So some ideas that we've had are to get a repository of oneleif members' resumes up for people to use as a reference or a template. I believe the consensus on this is that we're going to add it to the oneleif website. That way we can look people up by tag. So that way you can say, we look you up by like iOS developer, mobile, web, whatever, and then we can see your resume. So that way you can kind of, if you're building your first resume, you kind of have a template to go off of because you can see somebody who has experience in its resume. That grammar was awful. The next thing that we like to set up would be a webhook for our YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter.
Hey.
Yeah.
There is like I am hearing two version of you. What the heck?
Do you have the stream open?
I have the stream open and like sound open. I have to close something. I don't
Just
know.
mute the stream.
I'm gonna mute the sound of the tree. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Anyways,
continue.
so we'd like to have a webhook set up so that way whenever we make a post to any of our social media sites, we'll have an instant Discord message. That way everybody can go and like and share and whatnot. That way we can kind of grow as a community. I think we were just kind of chit-chatting on that. So that covers direction. Active project stand-up. So the active project that we're going to be talking about for the majority of the stream today is the oneleif website. However, we can go ahead and sound off on the other ones. Zach, Swift UI Kit.
I was just adding some modifiers, just basic stuff, so you didn't have to use the configure block for everything. It's just, simple iOS stuff like, oh, how many lines do you want to center this text or that stuff. So nothing really much, just
Whoa,
cleaning stuff.
whoa. You forgot the coolest part that we added.
Oh, yeah, we were starting to add metal. So we have metal kit or metal for Swift, which is kind of their GPU or graphics language. But it's a lot of stuff to set up normally. So you have to set up a ton of stuff. There's a huge pipeline. But Sabian and I got it down to pretty much say metal view and then give me a renderer. And we even got it so basic where we had metal view, and then like we had a custom renderer, and then we could pass in custom shaders all in like one line. I don't know if we have an example. I can
Yeah,
one
I'll pull
and
up the GitHub real quick.
But yeah, no. Other than that, I think oneleif Go is kind of waiting mainly on the website since that's leading ahead. So not much there.
Which branch did you put the metal stuff in?
Oh, I'm trying to find it.
All right, we'll come back to it. OL Go. I think we're kind of on standstill waiting for the website, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so for those of you unaware, OL Go or oneleif Go is the oneleif mobile app, so the iOS front end for this. So it'll be utilizing the same API that the front end is on web. But we're trying to test everything on web because it's easier to test, and we're building it mainly for web. So the oneleif mobile app will kind of lag behind and catch up as we get the website up and running. Last active project is mine. It's the bunny hop game. I got portals finally mostly functional, and then and then I went to go edit like going through the portals so it moves your player through them. And the current movement controller I'm using is a giant pain, so I'm working on rewriting it from scratch from the 5,000 lines of C++ code that the source engine hands us. So that'll take me a while. Ooh. Sweet. T Northern, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, we added it to the tests. So what we used to have to do to set up a renderer in metal is this giant amount of code, but now when you want to create a metal view, all you got to do and is it test view controller? Is that metal? Where's your main test, Zach?
Oh, I sent you the class, so it's in
Oh.
UI test and then metal view controller.
Got it.
Yep.
So now you got this super pretty thing where you can just dynamically create UI, and then you can just say, I want to make a metal view, give it a custom render, the shaders that you want to give it, the mesh you want to give it, and the background color. And it is super simple, and that's all you have to do now. Anyways, I believe the next topic is the streaming channel. Let's see if we have any updates. Haha, the update, what we're doing today. We don't have any proposals, and we do have a bunch of cool resources. Well, I'll save the resources for next week, and we can kind of go through some of them. The main one that I think is the most important is a long guide on React. It's like a 5-hour intro. It's a bunch of small courses smashed together. I'd highly recommend anybody that wants to contribute to the front end watch this tutorial. I watched it. It made me way better. It'll kind of give you an idea for what type of standards we're going to implement. Okay, so all the boring stuff is out of the way. Let's get to the oneleif website. So we kind of skipped over the oneleif website for stand-up. Are all of you guys familiar with how stand-up works? I'm going to operate under the assumption that it's yes.
Yes.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, that don't practice Agile, stand-up is basically everybody that's working on the project comes and says what they accomplished, what they're going to accomplish, and where they're blocked, right?
Okay.
So we'll start from the top and work our way down. So Zach? Actually, you were on vacation. You don't need to go.
Yeah, I'm from vacation, so I'm just trying to get caught up. There's been a lot of work done from Arcus on the backend Swift website, so I need to catch up. I've reviewed his PRs. He's added quite a bit of test and validation.
Yep.
But he's also added a skip validation for develop. So I'm gonna get spun up on what he's done, even though I've reviewed it. But yeah, I just need to get caught up.
Alrighty. Zach, are you done with that video yet?
I'll do that after. It's just
Okay, so for my stand-up, I did a bunch of code reviews, learned React because I knew none of it like a week ago. And as far as the backend goes, Zach will have a video that we'll show you later. But so the backend is written in Vapor, so we'll all be hitting this Vapor API. However, we weren't sure on how quick the progress on the Vapor front end would go. Thankfully, all you guys have hopped on and accelerated the progress a lot. But when we weren't sure, we started making a Vapor front end for it, which uses leaf templating, which is like an HTML language that allows you to include like variables passed in from the backend. So I have my own little front end set up, and I have the ability for you to create posts, a homepage, a profile that you can edit, and then a meet the team page that kind of creates as members register. So the goal will be, you guys can kind of see how that works. So once, I'm not sure how to show it to you guys since you don't have Linux, so I'll probably just give you a video and explain the code at some point for those interested. So that way you guys kind of have an example, so you don't have to, reinvent the wheel because I already did it for you. FTB, you want to give your stand up? He is. I think
He might be. He said he might be just lurking.
yeah, he's lurking.
So.
Okay. So FTB gave us a couple pull requests here. He added the search box functionality and he added a image carousel. So
Hey, 1 second.
Yeah, what's
What's lurking mean?
lurking just means you're not going to talk, you're just going to listen.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything to add to stand up?
I want to get started on something. You did say that Will was out of town. Is Will back in town to start making tickets for the front end again?
Yep, that's what this meeting is about. We're all going to make tickets today.
Yeah, I've been doing PR review in the last hour, so that's my stand up. But hopefully, get some more tickets. I'd like to get some definitions of really what we're going to be going after, and from there, tickets will be easier to do.
Alrighty. So let's go ahead and pull up. You guys can just kind of look at the stream. I'll kind of be the screen share central platform for us to work off of here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up our board, and I'm going to pull up our wiki. So that way we can kind of have two little places that we're working off of. So for those of you unaware, the project is split up into 4 repositories right now. OL website is the backend, OL website -React is the front end in React, OL Go is the iOS app, and OL Go Android is the Android app. So I've been updating the backend board with all the backend tickets, but now we need to update the. What's that? Was somebody gonna say something?
I think I opened the stream and it went talk to the same time it did.
It's all good, buddy. All right, so we kind of have a little bit of a roadmap set up here, and then for those of you who don't know the wiki here, we have like a outline of the project. We have the roadmap, we have the MVP, and then we have some extra guides that I wrote for how to contribute, API interface documentation, and the backend testing guidelines. The interface documentation and backend testing guidelines are pretty blank right now, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you just kind of have the classes and the models that are there. So anyways, our goal is to kind of fill out the roadmap and MVP today, get tickets made for the backend, and get tickets made for the front end. Okay, so since we're on the roadmap, I'm going to go ahead and start editing things that that we've talked about, that we've decided that we want to do in the future. So we'll go ahead and go through what we have, and then we'll add into it. And if you guys come up with any ideas while we're going through it, throw it in the OneLeaf website channel. That way we're not talking over each other, please. Okay, so we have our homepage. That'll be for info on OneLeaf itself, how to find us on social media, as well as a Discord invite. So I think I still have, yeah, the server's still running, so I can go ahead and look at what we have right now. This isn't the branch that has everything merged into it, but this is kind of a high-level overview of what the homepage is going to look like. We're going to have a little banner with a gallery and about that lets people know what in the world OneLeaf is, and then a way to join us. The main platforms we like to use are obviously Discord for communication, but I'd really like to have everybody as a member of GitHub, so that way we can all kind of look through the GitHub, because you can, if we go to OneLeaf itself, go to the people, you can see everybody that's in the OneLeaf, and you can kind of see what they're working on. So we, Zach and I have made the decision that we kind of like everybody to make sure they're in the GitHub at the very least, and then the OneLeaf website, once it's done, will kind of be our central repository of interacting with each other. Okay. So we're gonna have a featured page. So we have some designs drawn up. Let me go ahead and grab those since we're opening everything. So for those of you who haven't seen it, if you go to the Discord, the oneleif website channel, if you look up here, if you're on desktop, this pin will show up. Otherwise, there'll be like a little menu for you to open up, and then you can see the pin. We have the Figma pinned here, and the Figma is the website that we're using to draw up the designs. They are still in progress, so don't hold them as utter truth. Yeah, you can see everybody's cursor. It's kind of cool. Kind of like a Google Doc. Okay, so we're gonna have some sort of featured page for like the featured blogs, posts, tutorials, videos, that type of thing. I'd like to have, if a bunch of people are working on cool stuff every week or every month, we can kind of vote on who goes on the featured page. So that way, if people come to oneleif, they can see what our coolest projects are. We're also gonna have a meet the team page. I don't know if she has a mock-up for that right now. The nice part is that all of the pages are kind of going to keep a similar layout. So you're gonna have some sort of banner. The banner that I'm thinking for the Meet the Team page will kind of be a map, like a Google map with little pins on it for where everybody's from. So that way we can kind of get a world view of where everybody in oneleif is from. I think that'd be super cool. If anybody else has any ideas, feel free to throw them at me. And then down here will just be like a little avatar for your name. If you click on it, it'll take you to your profile page, a little bio, and maybe a link to your resume or something like that.
So is this the partners page or the meet the team page?
This is the partners page right here, but the meet the team page will keep the same layout.
Okay.
It's just not mocked up yet. I was just using this as an example of the layout because the majority of the pages will keep the same layout. We're obviously going to have a search page, so that way you can search team members, posts, blogs, anything out there. And then I'd like to have a developer docs page. I don't know how that's going to really work out because I don't know if we want to keep the developer docs in kind of the wikis of their own repos, or what we want to do there. Anybody have any input on that?
My thought would be, I mean, we could have some dev docs here, and then the developer docs too could link to the ones in the wiki.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I would just imagine if we did have dev docs, it would literally be API.
It would be what?
It would just be the API, like endpoints that you could hit potentially, like just to test it out, any open ones or that stuff. But really, I think we should try to stick to GitHub for like in-depth dev docs.
So by the way, we're on the roadmap here, right? So this is like our long-term goals. We can think as broad, we can think as cool, imaginative as we want. Our MVP is what we're really going for right off the bat. So if you guys have any cool ideas, let's throw them in here. We're not going to forget about anything. We'll get to it later.
So for me, for dev docs, it would really just be like code standards, explanations of like how to set things up, and then the APIs also, like just basic developer things to become a part of oneleif.
Code
Rather
standards,
than like
APIs.
for all of the projects. Like you would have the APIs, but also like how to like get React started up. And then maybe our code standards for certain languages.
Okay. Next, we have the blogs page. I believe we renamed this to posts because a post could be a blog, a tutorial, just a video of your game, whatever you're working on. All blogs are going to have some way to be able to be searched, so we could filter by user and tag, so that'll be capable of being searched in the search menu. As well, obviously being searched by title. The blog. Go ahead.
I was just wondering if we decided on a theme yet, because I'm seeing a lot of different examples.
In the Figma?
Yeah.
That's a Susie question, and she's at dance right now, so... For now, like, the nice part is if we get each of these individual components, right, we can just style them later. So, like, the image carousel is going to be the same on all of them. and then like the card-based UI will be similar at least. And then same with the sorting. Like that'll probably be sorting by tags or a username or something like that. We'll have a login system for developers versus viewers. So like if you're a oneleif member, you can log in and it would be cool to have a UI to edit your own page rather than having to do it in code or in a JSON file. And then if you're a viewer, you you just view the actual website rather than having like a button to create a new post and whatnot. I'm gonna add a little bit more information on that. Also, I'd like to see all of our posts in the future made with Markdown. So if you guys haven't used GitHub before, you can see how like the main domain hashtag is basically like a h1 header tag here. So I'd like to see our website be able to be created like that, so that way people can make pages quickly and not have to like dive into the code, and then it'll just be stored in the database. I do have a dashboard set up on the Vapor side. So a dashboard would be like, if you're logged in, instead of viewing the homepage, your homepage would be your dashboard. So it's like your articles, people you follow, things you like. That way it can kind of be, almost like the dashboard for GitHub. So like if you go to your GitHub dashboard, you can see, the recent activity of projects I follow or people that I follow. I'd like to see something similar for the oneleif website. It would be cool. I'm gonna put this in here actually. It would be cool to include um, updates from the GitHub profiles.
Yeah, I was wondering what we could do with the GitHub API.
That we'll make a ticket for that. I don't think that'll probably be in the MVP, at least the GitHub stuff. But we'll definitely have to check out the GitHub API and see what all we're capable of grabbing from it. And then I know I talked about this earlier, but a map of where the developers and all the users are from. That will go on the Meet the Team page, so I'll kind of move that under there. And then we could have a resources page with filters by language, platform, experience level. I think that's kind of condensed into the search page.
Yeah, I think resources could just be like under posts.
Yeah, I'm gonna rename blogs to posts. So for developer docs, we have an interface documentation for APIs, templates for creating a subdomain, that includes a blog and homepage. Okay, so for those of you that weren't here for the original discussion of how the website's set up, we were thinking about having subdomains. So we'd have like oneleif.com, and then you could have oneleif.ambid.com, and I'd have my own basic little subdomain that I'd have my own like featured page, my own like about page, that type of thing. So that way, if people want to have basically like their own portfolio site, you could have your own little um, subdomain, so that way you can basically have your own front end built that you can say you made. Subdomains is not something that we've decided on quite yet, because we're not sure how it's going to work with like whatever deployment software we use. So if we use AWS or whatnot, we'll have to figure out how like creating a subdomain will work and integrate into the fleshed out backend. Will, you brought up getting an npm private registry.
Yeah, that'd be for like more generic things. So our carousel, this search bar are really good examples of what we could use and put into our own private registry. I mean, you could put those in public registries now. I mean, the main reason we had to make our own carousel is because there's no good React carousels out there. So that could be, I mean, that would look great for FTB.
Yeah, it would.
But private registries are pretty easy. We would just have to, yeah.
I assume
Think
it's
we-
similar to like a Maven repository.
Yeah, it's a maybe. Yeah, we would just have to host it, which isn't really that expensive.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing OneLeaf is a nonprofit now, so we can pay for those things.
Yeah. I think I've done it on Nexus in the past.
I think that's what most people use. Anyway, so going on, we'd like to have the ability to host custom data, so that way you can host your PDF file for your resume. You could put videos, large code blocks, or like maybe have a like if you have your own subdomain, and for example Ben has a web-based game or a Flash game, you could host your own game on the website. We talked about blogs made with Markdown. Some of this stuff needs to be condensed and reorganized, but I'm not sure the best way to go about that. I'm not a systems engineer. So that's kind of the outline of what we foresee for the roadmap. Does anybody have any other suggestions or ideas that we could implement to make the website better? Good talk. Good talk.
I think once we get the MVP done, that's going to be actually pretty like big of a goal. I think most of us will be pretty happy with the MVP, and stuff later be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I agree.
So just in case there's people that are watching the stream that don't know what it means, an MVP stands for minimum viable product, or the minimum amount of features that our website needs to be considered like a prototype or something that people can use. So when we're talking about our MVP, it's basically let's narrow it down to like just the things we need, so that way we can get it done and we can say we've made a significant amount of progress. Haha, yeah, I even wrote that up. Okay, so I have a link to the UI mockups. Okay, so for each one of the pages, I guess let's go ahead and I guess I'll go side by side with the UI that we have. Ah, Figma, why? I have no idea how to use you. Can I close this bar? Haha. Oh crap, I don't know how to get the UI back. I didn't pay attention to what the hotkey was. Okay, so for the home page, where'd she put it? Okay, so we were thinking about having like two separate home pages, right? One for Zach and I were thinking about running a Google Ads campaign, so that way people could find OneLeaf. So we'd have kind of like an ad-based page, so for people that are more interested in just figuring out or getting quick access to OneLeaf, and then we could have kind of the homepage that you guys are used to, where it gives you a little bit more in-depth information, whereas the one that we were talking about is more just like an image carousel, a very quick explanation, and then a link to either the GitHub or the Discord. Thoughts?
So what would be the main? So would one be the dashboard you were talking about, or would we just, if you're signed in and a member and you click homepage, you come to a different homepage?
That's a good question. So I guess we technically have three homepages. One that's kind of like the Google Ads homepage, that's just like super simplistic for people that are just kind of passing by. One that's a little bit more in depth, like if you actually like so like if you're on Google, you know how like the first thing that pops up is usually an ad.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of websites don't actually take you to their homepage; they take you to like a fake homepage that's a little bit like more easy to read.
Page.
Yeah, landing page. Thank you. And then if you're
Okay.
logged in, your homepage would be the dashboard.
Okay.
We could actually keep like the icon here, like taking you to the home page, and then add like a button for the dashboard up in the nav bar. That way you could still get to the home page if you wanted to like be able to grab the URL and send it to somebody.
So would this URL, like this homepage, the add one, would that be like the base root homepage, or would it be like a meet us homepage where it takes you to the quick explanation one, and then the regular homepage takes you to the other homepage you're talking about, and then like a dashboard one would take you to a different one? Or because I'm just trying to understand it like from a routing sense.
No, I understand. That's a so usually the ad pages you like can't get to once you like if you click home from the ad page, like you can never get to the ad page again. It's like just a landing page from Google.
Yeah.
Um, so what we could do is like maybe we don't have 3 home pages. Maybe we just have the about us page be the more longer one, and then we have the home page be the like that landing page that we're talking about.
Okay.
That would make much more sense, wouldn't it?
Whatever y'all want. Works for me.
All right, so we'll go ahead and go down here to I don't know. Maybe this could just be the home page, and then the about us page is more of the meet the team. Maybe having an about us and a home is overkill.
Yeah, we can always for the whole layout of the page, we can defer to Susie or any designer too. But yeah, the dashboard and home is mainly just unauthed and authed. Landing
Okay.
page is completely different, and it will probably just be oneleif/landing page, or oneleif/ad,
Okay.
or something like that. But
Yeah. So,
okay.
oh hey, Johnny's here.
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Hi, Johnny. Man, we got a nice little squad going here.
Yeah, good turnout.
Okay, so landing page. I'm just gonna keep the bulleted points here simpler. It's just the about one leaf text will probably be a little bit more simple. I don't know. We can revisit this. We'll keep it for now just to keep them separate. Meet the team page. We'll keep the same format as everything else. And then I have for the title picture, the gallery, a map of everybody's location. The search bar will be for searching by names and tags. Same with the filter and sort. And then we'll have a card for each member driven off the developer profiles, including their profile image, bio, and link to the profile. I think that's simple enough. If the bio and picture makes you interested, then you can click on the picture and go to their profile. For developer docs, it'll be the same thing. So the title image, I don't have anything creative for that right now. Search bar will be for searching by document name and the tags, and then we'll have a card for each document, just like everything else. For active projects, there'll be a title image. Maybe it could just be like the gallery photo would be a link to like a YouTube video explaining about what an active project is, what it means to be a one leaf active project. Maybe we add a little text explaining what an active project is. And Zach, since we're kind of nailing down what all these are, you may want to tell Susie to just check out this page to make the designs for it.
Yeah, I'll let her know tonight, and I'll kind of talk about.
Okay. The search bar, everything's kind of searched by name and tags, so like either the name of the project, the name of the doc, whatever, and then what tags. I don't know for like the filter bar if we want to like filter it by like maybe language. In this case, I'll just put it down for now. We can come back to it. We definitely don't need searching and filtering right away because we only have 4 active projects. And then obviously a card for each project. Includes an icon and short description. The link takes you to either oneleif page or their GitHub. For resources, I think we renamed this to posts, and we got rid of blogs because they're the same thing. Yep.
It'd be cool for active projects if, like, if we ever got blocked on something or needed, like if we ever needed someone who knew AWS, something for a project, to be able to like post like how you can on GitHub for need help, or like have a tag on it for what kind of resources you're looking for in that way.
So then maybe you have your own active project page. So like once you click on it, it takes you to like your own like landing page for that project.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like that could come up. I guess that could just be added on a tag later. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like that because then if you do link that active project on your resume or anything like that, you could also have other contributors or anything like that too.
Yeah, it'd be cool to like use the GitHub API to like show the contributors to the project on your little active project page.
I'm sure we'll be able to do that. I've heard good things about the API, but I've actually never looked at it.
So so the actual project page for an active project will obviously have a title image like everything else, text explaining the project, links to relevant information. So that could be the GitHub, their own website, or I don't know, other things. This is kind of up to the discretion of each active project page, so it'll be written in Markdown. I assume, question mark. So for posts, it will keep the same format, and then maybe, I guess we have some bigger images here, maybe for some featured ones. So I assume it'll kind of end up looking like Medium for the posts page, where you kind of scroll through and have, you know, all the hot posts or whatever, and then you can filter it by tags and whatnot. The cards will have, just like everything else, an image, title, sub-description maybe. And then log in and sign up. We definitely want to be able to let people log in with Google and GitHub. And then a custom forms with user data for the API docs. That way we can have their location for the map. We can make sure we have their Discord and GitHub username. And then allow them to have, you know, put in their links to like LinkedIn and whatnot. Okay, I think this is pretty good for an MVP. Is there anything that anybody sees is glaringly missing or is too complicated for an MVP?
That sounds pretty awesome so far.
Perfect. I think this kind of gives us a great start. It'll allow us to basically show off who oneleif is, what we're doing, and like how to get involved. So, on to the tickets then, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Sweet. The fun pain in the ass part, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and just walk through the back end and see what we got, because I like the back end. Zach, do you have that video done yet?
I'm on call right now.
Oh, damn. I guess if he's busy after this, I want to say after the stream, but I kind of want to do it during the stream. I have to switch over to my Linux machine, so I'd have to reboot and bring it back up. And my headphones don't work on Linux because my USB bus is screwed somehow. So I will, after this, I will make a video and kind of show you guys what the website looks like. So right now I believe we have. Let me go look at the code real quick so I can make sure I'm remembering correctly. Oh, wrong one. So mine is very similar to your guys's. You'll have a home page, you'll have a post page, you'll have instead of partners, I have a meet the team. So every time an account is created, a icon is added that takes your bio into the card automatically, so that way you don't have to do anything. It's kind of dynamic. And then it's just using Flexbox. I just have a dashboard set up. There's not really anything on it. There's just a route to it. And then for your profile page, when you go to it, it'll show you like a bunch of input fields. It's just a form. And then when you hit, there's like an edit profile button. You can edit your profile image, your username, your name, your GitHub, all the things. And then when you hit save, it'll save it. I think the only thing that isn't working right now, the hamburger menu when you're on mobile doesn't work. I'll have to figure out why that is. And the profile image, when you hit save on your profile, doesn't actually use the image API that we have right now. I couldn't figure that out. So for to do right now, we have an investigation we want to set up some CI for the back end. So we want to figure out the best cloud deployment platform, whether that's AWS, Heroku. We kind of need to do some research to figure out who supports nonprofits, what some competitive pricing is, what's going to be best for our situation. I assume it's going to come down to AWS or Heroku, most likely AWS because it's most scalable, and since everybody uses it, it's probably going to end up being the cheapest. I haven't checked into whether or not they have nonprofit pricing though. We're going to want to create a pipeline to deploy the master branch to cloud. So right now we're using Vapor Cloud. It's very similar to AWS and Heroku, but Vapor just includes some nice syntax. You can just say like Vapor deploy and it'll automatically push it out for you. So we're going to want to get like Circle CI and whatnot to run our tests. I don't think I have anything in here for Circle CI. Yep, I do. Never mind. So yeah, we'll actually have to. I don't think we have any tests right now other than what Arik wrote. So I'll add a ticket to add tests for the current API. And then I'll come back and add a better explanation to these in the future. I just want to get them down for now. We don't have the search API yet, so all your search menus are going to be defective. We will update the interface once that is done. Post page styling and account page styling need to be updated because they look awful right now on the Vapor side. So you're going to see like front end tickets on the OL website, but that is just for the Vapor based front end. Is there any back end things that you see we're missing, Will or FTB, that you're missing to be able to move on in your front end?
No.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
What's powering your location stuff for
What?
the user location map?
What'd you say?
So you had mentioned that you were going to have like a location or a map of all the different users' locations
Mhm.
on the team page. What's powering that right now, or what will?
So I mean, from what we discussed, it'd be more of like when you're filling out your user, you have the option to put where you're at. Like it's not required. And then if you want to have that displayed, then we would just. My thought was just show it on like a React library for like a Google map, just pins of like the general location.
Gotcha. So is that something where like you'll just manually update that?
So
Or
I'd like to have
is
them
it
either be
gonna
able to put in
have
their
to automatic-
address, their lat long, their zip code, and we'll kind of parse it out.
Right.
And then right now location is just stored as a string, so we can kind of validate that as is. Or we can use we can let the browser ask for their location, I suppose.
I think it'd be good to have the option of like letting them give the option of displaying it or not, because some people not. I mean, even if it's not tied to them, some people might get freaked out by that.
Right now it is not required. Like none of these fields are validated or required as of right now, other than username and password.
Okay.
I will go ahead and make note of that in the backend wiki. So for the user, I'll just add optional to it. Okay, I believe we're doing pretty good on the back end. Pretty much all we need to add in as far as functionality goes is the API, or the search API. Sorry, because post is up and running, users up and running. That will let us fill out the landing page is static. Home and about us page is going to be static. Meet the team page is automatically created as you guys register accounts. Dev docs will need to be created. We need to add like a. I guess dev docs will just go under posts. It'll just have its own tag, I guess. So if we go to post item right now in the back end, we have tags. Maybe we need to add an enum for the type of post. So either a post or a dev doc or an active project page. That might be a discussion for Zach and I later. I'll go ahead and add that to the interface documentation. Active projects will be a. I'm not Zach. How do we want to handle active projects? Because we're gonna have to do a proposal in the Discord, or we can add proposals to the website. I don't know. I kind of like it in Discord, so that way we can kind of have a discussion on it, and then we can add a static page as websites get it, and then people can format it themselves. Or we can allow them just to hit new active project, have people like approve of it, and then the page, the markdown that they created is like added into the database. I don't know. What do you guys think?
We have it where they're able to create a proposal and it puts it up as pending, and we could have like a feed with discussion there. But this would be like far from MVP.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm gonna add that to the roadmap, because that's definitely something that we want. But I think that's a little
Yeah,
far fetched
that's
for now.
building an entire forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Even if you think about something like Swift, like the majority of their proposals just are done through mailing lists and then, like the GitHub post.
I think Discord would be
Like a pull
fine.
request.
We can come back to that. I just wanted to get it noted down with a little bit of explanation so I don't forget it. So I'm just making sure that what we have in the back end doesn't leave you guys dry. So active project page. We can do these static for now, as they're proposed and approved. Post is done. Login and sign up is done, except for Google and GitHub. We just need to grab the API key. Okay, so we are good to go on the back end. We have everything set up for you guys. All we need to do is update the search API, and that will come. That will kind of be modified as we get things added, and we can test how things are searched. Oh, we need to add a database. We don't have one right now. And they'll probably want a mock and a development DB and production DB. So that way, before we push out to master, do all the CI and whatnot, we can kind of have mock database entries. So that way, when you are testing your front end, you don't have to go in there and make curl requests or postman requests to fill the DB. We'll just kind of when the server starts up, it'll check if it's in development or production, and if it's in development, it'll go ahead and add in a bunch of mock data for you guys to make front end testing easy.
Wait, mock data coming from the back end to do front end testing?
Yeah, so when you guys are doing front end testing for adding posts and whatnot, you guys are gonna want things that are already there, so you can make sure you can edit a
Oh,
post, all that jazz.
I thought you meant writing tests.
I think you guys can do tests without a database, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you're using like unit tests and stuff, you would usually just mock the data on the front on the client side. So that's
Oh.
why I was confused. But if we were doing end-to-end testing, then we'd want actual server calls, but that would be
I think there's I posted this yesterday. I think we'd want to do something similar. There's this website called JSON Placeholder where you can go in and you can choose like posts, for example, and it'll give you JSON back. So you can do a GET request or a POST request. So I think what we could do is have mock routes. So we could have like mock posts or whatever for when you're doing testing. So you can make sure that when you send the GET request, it returns the correct response that you're looking for. So that way you can actually mock the request response, not just if the thing is added to the UI.
Yeah, you could do that. I'm pretty sure it was the testing tool Cypress.
So I don't know jack about React testing, so we'll have to look into that, and you'll have to paste some links for us to look into.
All right.
Okay, so I think backend's good to go. I think we've kind of beat the horse dead here. So on to the front end. All right, this is where things are gonna get nice and jankety because we need to have hello tickets for everybody to be able to do things. Look at how blank that is. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think the main thing that we need right now is that container for holding cards. What do you think? Because I think we have the carousel, we have the search bar, and then every other site on the Figma. So we have this, and then now we need the filter and sort box and the card container.
Yeah. And that, I mean, if you want all the pages to pretty much have the same layout, then that's just going to be one basic container.
Well, what I'm thinking is they'll all kind of be a basic container, but I know a little bit about React components. We'll kind of make a component for the container, a component for the cards, and then on each different page, you can have a different component for each card. So that way, like on the post page, the card will have an image, a title, and a sub description. Whereas on the like meet the team page, it'll just have like a picture in their bio.
So with React, we can just create a card component that really just handles the styling, and then you're just able to pass any children above it. So it'd kind of be like a base style card, and then you could have like a header footer. You know, we don't. My team literally just made this like yesterday.
Perfect. So that we're sticking you with that ticket. It sounds like.
I can handle that.
Thankfully, we've kind of kept the UI. I don't want to say synonymous. I don't know. We've kind of kept it consistent throughout the different pages, so we really don't have a whole lot of components to make. It's just going to be making the styling look a
Yeah.
little better on each page.
Yeah.
So for now, as far as hard set tickets go, the only ones I can think of are the card container, the base style card, and the filter box. And
Yeah.
then maybe the React map
The React map.
for the meet the team page.
Oh. Yeah.
And that will go either inside of a gallery, like one of the carousels that we've made, and will just be a component for that, or it can be its own standalone thing.
Yeah, and the authentication too. Like, should we click that user icon and a drop down comes down? Should we have like login sign up shown if the user's not logged in, and show that user icon if they are? Like that's what I want to talk to Susie about.
Hey, yo, Zach, when did she get off dance?
Oh yeah, FTV's talking about coding standard docs.
Ooh,
for-
yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, definitely. Thanks for the reminder. Actually, I'm gonna add that as a ticket so we can kind of do it together.
Yeah, I'd like to have it laid out somewhere.
So let's do a coding standard for JSX, a coding standard for CSS. Yeah, what's up?
About components. So, do you guys have a preference on whether or not we use functional components or class-based components?
My preference is functional just because what I've seen, even on like the React docs, is they've seen issues down the road with class components when things get complicated. So with functional components, they're able to get around all that, and most React projects, if you're working for a company, are going to write functional components. We only really use class with legacy code.
Yeah, that sounds good because I'm very comfortable with using React hooks. Not too comfortable with the class-based components, but I'm very comfortable with the hooks. So sounds good to me.
Sounds good. Yeah, the class was honestly, I liked it more just because my first framework for JavaScript was actually Polymer 1, which is like really gross, but it was similar to that. So I liked it for like the layout, but you can do way more, it feels like, with the hooks.
So FTB asked about a testing strategy. As far as the framework goes, it sounded like we kind of agreed on Jest.
Jest and React testing library. I kind of want to see some tests written for that carousel. That would be like a good first spike for writing some tests for it. You can do some like basic ones for the utils.
All right, we got some tickets written down. I'm gonna go back and add descriptions to them so that way people are like, oh, this ticket says this. I'm gonna start on it.
I'm gonna go. Okay.
Have a
All
good
right.
night, Omar.
Yeah.
Okay, it's too late here. About bunny hop game, I'm gonna push the last code tomorrow. Maybe I'm gonna grab another ticket.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk about it when
See
we're not
you.
on the stream.
See. Okay. See you all later.
Yep. Have a good one.
Bye.
Alrighty. So for the base, the base card that we want, what are some requirements that you think we're gonna want, Will, or anyone else?
I mean, it pretty much just like have a set style. That'd be like by the UX person, and then from there, like it would. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's not really requirements. Like the base component is really just styling.
I think all of them are gonna have an image and title, and some of them will have a description as well as a link that they're referring to.
I mean, I'd make it even more basic than that. Pretty much just passing down children. The optional header.
Oh, I see what you're
It'll-
saying. So the card itself is just the container, but you're gonna have something with an image, something with a title.
Yeah, that'd be like added in case by case.
Okay.
But it'd still be pretty modular, or would be modular.
So then, how do I even tell somebody what they're working on here?
I mean, it would go page by page. We can get like a mock up. I can kind of get an idea. I pretty much know what I would do for a basic card, but
Okay. I will just go ahead and assign that to you then.
yeah, like I can do that pretty easily. Probably tomorrow. Wait, is tomorrow Friday?
It is.
Yeah.
It is Friday. And then the container as well.
Yeah.
Got it. Filter box. This will kind of. I don't know if we can. I think this is kind of on hold until we get the search API done.
That and some more mock-ups done for it. My concern with that the filter box in Figma right now is it seems kind of large for I mean, I don't know what we'll be searching for, but if we're just doing tags, it seems kind of large unless that space is all just to display the tags that have already been selected.
Well, for example, on the active projects page, it'll allow you to search by language. So it's on some pages it may be useful, on some pages it's not. I guess like the posts page, it may not be useful because you're probably just going to be searching by tag. It might be useful to have that just to show like the most common tags.
Okay. Could just have it as a list group on the side.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to break the filter box, take it down into multiple for each page, aren't we? Once
Yeah.
Susie gets all the styling done. React map. This should show a global map that's pannable and zoomable with pins for locations. Fed from the user API. Do we want to go ahead and go over coding standards right now? Or is that going to be some, I mean, I know we're already an hour in, so I know some of you may be busy.
I think coding standards are a bit larger than this right now. I think we should like
We could kind of keep an
have a
open,
forum
yeah, we can just have a wiki and then have people like submit issues to the wiki.
and then make an argument for why they feel a certain way.
Yeah, we could also just follow certain guidelines. Like I know,
Can you do like BEM or
uh,
something like that?
yeah, we followed like LinkedIn Swift's guidelines, so then that's just really easy to follow that. But yeah, maybe later talk about it.
I'll go ahead and create a page for each in the wiki, and then people can start adding comments to it. I don't know if we want to do like issues for people to like request a like a change to the wiki. This isn't something I've dealt with before, so I'm not sure the best way forward.
Yeah, I don't think we should really worry about that. I think they, yeah, definitely could write an issue on the wiki or that's, but if they're a part of oneleif, I would assume that they could just, edit the wiki.
Yeah.
So,
So would this be an issue with like the coding standard or like for the wiki, or what would they be editing?
either, well, I would first imagine that they'd want to say, this kind of coding style, or they, something maybe need to be updated on the wiki, or something's wrong on the wiki, or something like that. But maybe you want to elaborate more on that, Sabian.
I was
So,
typing and not listening at all. I'm sorry.
so for the coding standard, I feel like we're gonna have this forum, have people make their cases. Then once we set it, and people then have issues down the road and would like to change something, we could just have them throw it into the Discord too. That's what I was thinking more of what you were explaining, rather than just like if someone just went in and edited a coding standard to make it theirs without any discussion.
How would you recommend that they make that like proposal for that change?
For a coding standard change,
Yeah.
I have an example really quick. Sorry to interrupt. The Swift LinkedIn style guide, I'll just share it in the oneleif one. This one's actually a repo that people can contribute, and it's just a markdown file. So everyone does PRs to contribute.
There we go. That's what we're talking. Yeah, PR to contribute to it. That's probably the way to go.
yeah.
Cool. I will copy this in there just as an example. Boop, boop, boop. Haha. All right. And we can just kind of edit these as time goes on.
It'd be really nice
Yep.
to get on Jira at some point. But that's
I'm thinking like so I'm just throwing some stuff down so that we have some stuff to talk about in the future. For testing, we're gonna want like HTTP request guidelines, HTTP request testing, Component creation testing. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing some stuff down there so that way we have some topics to at least talk about in the future. And then if you just have like some high level things like this, ooh,
Ooh, ADA compliance.
I like that a lot.
Right now, we're 508 compliant. Or no, I don't think we have all the area labels actually. So you can tab everywhere.
Good recommendation, Zach. Back to the. I lost it. Where were we? Fine, I'll go to the board. Any other tickets that we can create so that people can get some work done?
Could you make a ticket for me to set up the React testing library, like all the testing dev tool stuff?
Oops. Are these the droids you're looking for? Well,
Sorry.
you're fine.
Oh, add React test. Is that what you meant?
Is this? I was just wondering if this is the link that they should be looking at. Just the React testing library on GitHub.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to add it to the ticket so that way people know, like whoever's gonna end up doing it knows where to go.
Oh, your stream's like behind, so I couldn't see what you're talking about.
My bad. Usually we're in like a private call so we can screen share.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna glance through here again. Do we have a login or register page yet?
No, we need those.
I'm assuming login and register can be the same page, but we don't have a.
We don't have mockups for those yet.
Susie.
We need to get more UX people.
We do. We can't put it all on Suze.
Yeah, I feel bad always.
I don't know. Maybe next meeting we should all sit down and kind of do some. Everybody play in Figma. Get out of her Figma and make like a sandbox, and we can all kind of create mockups and talk about them. That'd be kind of a fun stream. We can use. I will send, or I will make a mockup in Figma for the login register page that I have on the Vapor side, and then you guys can copy that, and then we can restyle it in the future. We just need the username, password, and then the sign up and login button, and then we can style it later.
All right. And the API is set up for all that, right?
Yep.
So that can be the first fun.
Yep. We already have it working on the Vapor side, so we know we've tested it and made sure it works.
Sweet.
And then we have. So the weird part about how this works on the Vapor side is that we have, so like for the posts page, for example, right? The post page has a nav bar, right? And depending on whether you're offed or not, you're going to see different nav bars. Like you won't see the dashboard unless you're logged in. So I actually created duplicate pages, one called posts.html and one called offpost.html. So I have duplicate pages for all the pages. I'm assuming there's a workaround for that in React. I just don't know of it off the top of my head.
All right.
So that is something we're going to have to think about. So make the header dynamic based on authentication. And maybe we put that in backlog. I don't know. I'll go ahead and put a little message in here. I'm assuming you can kind of store whether or not they're offed in the header and kind of make it dynamic there.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other things that I added to the Vapor website already. Oh, create the profile page. I will add see the Figma for styling, not that it's there yet. And I'm kind of adding links to these, so that way Susie can easily do this as well. Did that not say? Oh, show more.
I have a question about routing in the React app.
Go for it.
You guys plan on using React Router or
That's
Yeah,
what we're
will you
using.
be using React Router? Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it anywhere here just yet.
Is it in app.js, I think?
I think it's in the old website app.
Yeah, there we go.
.js. And then the routing
Yep.
right now, we have nav in the footer in the toolbar.
I sent you the link to Northern.
I don't think we'll be needing Redux FTB. We'll need to use React context, most likely to pass around the user information. I think that's the only thing I've really ever used the context for, since it's the one main global. But Redux is kind of unnecessary, in my opinion.
I'm just opening up these so I can look them up later because I have no idea how they work. How are you guys gonna like keep track of the session, or like whether or not they're logged in? Is that the context?
Yeah, that would just be, so we can set a timeout that we can like automatically log them out. I set it up before in the past. I need to look back into it, but we'll be able to do that.
Ooh! I saw something freaking cool yesterday. Did you watch that CSS video that I sent in resources?
I was gonna watch it tonight.
There is a new tag called prefers or preferred, and you can figure out which theme they have preferred. So like if you're on an iPhone, you can have like dark mode or light mode. So we can have a preferred theme for CSS, and we can change things based off of which theme they have on their device. So like
That's pretty cool. So that's
yeah, so like even in like Google Chrome, I have preferred dark mode, so like it'll be super sweet.
is that how Instagram does it, since they're written in React Native?
Fuck if I know.
I bet.
You can do prefers for other things, but I don't remember what they were. I'll go ahead and put that in the backlog.
Oh, that'd be a media query.
I think it's just written on top of media queries, yeah.
That's interesting.
There were some other cool things that were coming down the pipeline for CSS if you watch that video, so we'll have to chit-chat about what we want to do, because those could be some simple things that people could add to our CSS. And we're using Sass right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I need to look into that more.
It's pretty intuitive. It's just a CSS preprocessor. It helps with code splitting.
So tools that we're using, obviously, React router.
You can look at the package .json and see all our tools.
Sweet. I just want to put it in the wiki so that way people don't have to go searching for it. And they can kind of look it up on their own time. Website package. Sweet.
We can probably customize the linter too at some point, because right now I think I have all the default formatting.
I will go ahead and add a ticket for that, because that's probably something that we'll want to have noted at least. And we're using ESLint for that, right?
Correct.
Cool. Do you want to put anything in the issue that way you can remember what we're doing? I just have customized ESLint. Not sure what else to put.
That'll work.
Alrighty.
Way prettier too, but
I see that.
you know, we would format just ESLint.
So for linting, we have ESLint and prettier. For CSS preprocessor, we have Sass. What's Husky?
Husky, whenever you commit, it makes sure like those commands are run, so it runs the hooks, and then it that's where everything is linted.
So
You can set it up for testing too, where like if all the tests aren't passed, then Husky won't let you send the commit.
Isn't that kind of going to be built into the CI?
Yeah, so it catches it before the CI too, which is nice.
That is nice. Cool.
So like if you have just random variables, or like if you have any like just random like issues in your code, errors, it won't let you commit it.
Cool. So you can make sure they don't have like extraneous imports, stuff like that.
Yeah. They'll have extra. It'll allow you to have extra imports, but you'll see those warnings in the terminal.
I'm just saying we can like customize it so that we can prevent that from even being a thing. Like the commit won't happen if they have that. For example.
Yeah.
What is this, Zach? Update contributing.
Johnny pointed that out. It's the default Vapor contributing one. So if someone goes to the OO website, it kind of is confusing because it's the default Vapor one and it links to Tim.
I see what you're talking about.
Or
Yeah.
member. So just updating and making sure that all of our repos have a kind of guide to contributing, even though it's basic of like either fork or join one leaf.
Noted. Good catch, Johnny.
Help where I can. Aim to please.
All right. Anything else we're using? React scripts. I guess these are all just React plugins.
The React scripts come in-house.
Got it.
Just used to run like this npm start, test, and build and all that. Oh, we can get rid of that React. Okay, I'll make that on the PR.
I was just gonna list out the React or tools.
We can get rid of the React responsive carousel. I need to put that on the PR. Yeah, that's all we really use.
Sweet. I will. I guess React Router is really the only one that's kind of like. Are we using React icons or are we using like material?
So React icons I'm pretty sure it gives you access to material. I use Font Awesome icons.
Oh yeah, that's what Cassie or Susie wanted.
Yeah, it has material design. It gives you access to like all these websites, and they're like giant library of icons, and just lets you import it really easily.
Sweet. Cool. I just wanted to have it noted so that way if people like, even if people don't use the project, then they can at least go look up the tools. I feel like we have a lot of tickets for you, Will, knowing a lot about this project. So we either have to onboard people and get them to understand what the hell's going on, or we have to figure out how to add some requirements to these so that people can do them, which I know for a lot of them requires the styling.
Yeah.
So I hate to tell people that we're kind of on a hold, but we might be. Well, boys, I feel like we've gotten a metric ton done. Anything else that comes to mind?
I think that's it for me. I'm gonna have to get off real quick.
That is okay. If we want to stay in here and chit chat about other things, I'm down to do that as well. So, Will, if you have to get going, I feel like we're at a good stopping point here.
All right. Well, I'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, thanks for being here, man.
See ya.
See you.
See ya.
Well, boys, anybody have any questions that I can get you caught up on?
Can we talk about partners?
Oh,
Or is that too late or too early?
I mean, I don't see why not.
I just like to kind of get on stream and the people that are here. Yeah, we're working on, but also Bread for the Journey is going to be the next one that we're kind of looking for.
You cut out for a second there, by the way.
Yeah, just talk about Bread for the Journey.
Okay, so Bread for the Journey is a nonprofit that helps get other nonprofits started. So when Zach and I originally decided that we wanted to make One Leaf a nonprofit, we reached out to Bread for the Journey. They gave us a grant to help fund the costs of getting started up as a nonprofit. So like all the legal fees, helping us pay for the One Leaf hosting for the website and other things. So they would be considered a partner of ours. But in the future, we'd also like to, once we kind of get the ball rolling, once we get some people continuously contributing, we'd like to have partnerships with, for example, the company Zach works for, CRI, doing some of the um, fun cutting edge stuff. So we could do like, like a little AR innovation, or we could partner with other nonprofits and help them make their websites, because when you're setting up a nonprofit, that's typically the most expensive thing to do is setting up a website. And nonprofits typically don't have a whole lot of money to play with. So if we could partner up with them and help them out, that helps One Leaf look better, that helps the other nonprofits, and it just makes the world a better place.
Yeah, and then that also extends out because they've helped quite a bit of people, including us. So if you contribute to their website, then it kind of speaks a little bit more than contributing to One Leaf's website, because they've contributed to many different nonprofits. But that's just kind of one place that we want to contribute because they've helped us. So
Another nonprofit that we were talking to, I don't remember the name of the nonprofit. Has that lady contacted you yet? The autism one?
no, I think we gave her the One Leaf email. I'll have to double check,
Yeah,
but
double check with Delana and see
I
if you can
can
get her
reach
number.
out through Bread for the Journey to get
Perfect.
contact to her.
So the other nonprofit we were talking to, they run a little program that helps families find. I think right now they just do like luncheons for families with that have children with autism. I don't know the politically correct way to say that, but when we were talking to them at the Bread for the Journey meeting, they basically said we'd like to get a website up that's kind of like Yelp, but allows families to search for doctors, restaurants, places to go that are conducive to bringing a child that has autism. So places that aren't very loud, that are accepting, things like that. And I think that would be an awesome project for us to work on.
That does sound really cool.
Yeah, and yeah, so we have other projects like that, and then one other thing, I don't know. Also, we're also planning to get recruiters to join One Leaf, so that they can bring in jobs or anything like that.
They can help you review your
Um,
resume, show you what they're looking for.
That'd be amazing.
And I have
Yeah,
some
that's really
recruiters
cool.
like on the line that are ready to join at a moment's notice, but I kind of wanted to get. We still need to update like the Discord, some of the channels names, some of the channels descriptions. I kind of want to get things a little more solidified before we bring in some outside people and they expect things to be as they are, I guess. Whereas the developers that come in are kind of expecting things to be fluid and like a community.
Yeah, is there a concern that like recruiters are gonna understand Discord? I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it's similar to Slack, so like that part will help, but there is, I guess, just some
So right now,
interesting parts.
sorry to interrupt. Right now, when
No,
you
that's
join
fine.
the Discord, you get that welcome message, right? That tells you need to go to your interests, all that jazz.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
some people don't know how to even react, right? So what I'm
Right.
thinking is when you join, we're going to change the bot so that rather than sending a message in that start channel, it sends you a private message. So we could use the Me6 bot, and it'll send you a private message and a link to a YouTube video that kind of gives you an intro to Discord and oneleif's like community.
Makes sense. Yeah, that'd be cool.
So I think that'll kind of prevent the majority of the issues as long as we don't make the video too boring and people don't watch it. So that kind of covers the majority of the community updates. So yeah, basically, since everybody has started kind of contributing to the OneLeaf website, we were kind of scared to partnership with any companies before we had people contributing because it it wouldn't look good on us. But now that we're kind of getting this flow going, now that everybody's kind of working as a team, we can actually take on more projects.
Yep. And going back to LinkedIn and kind of nonprofit aspect, we have that more official up. So if you do want to, link a job as a developer for OneLeaf, we're all trying to connect on there. So feel free to say that you're a developer or whatever for OneLeaf, so we can easily connect on LinkedIn and also share and also endorse skills on LinkedIn too.
Yeah, so we have the OneLeaf page. If you guys want to like it, share it, whatever. Oop, I forgot to like this one. Whoopsies. But yeah, you can go into like your profile, and Zach and I put ourselves as like an actual job experience because we're co-founders. But you guys, if your company isn't worried about it, obviously you could put it as an experience. I think personally that I would put it as an experience even if I was just a member because it looks good to be a part of a nonprofit and showing that you're doing open source work. But if you're scared of what your company is views you as, then you can put it under the volunteer experience. And if you need help like writing up a little blurb, just let us know.
Oh yeah.
Another thing that we're recently talking about is the resume kind of building up, or I don't know if you talked about that. Sorry, I was so.
We talked about putting resume templates on the OneLeaf website.
Yeah, but kind of just sharing the community of resumes. If people need help with resumes, we're always here to help, or share ours for inspiration, or just back and forth kind of talking and rough drafts. So we were definitely thinking about getting that up on the website. I don't know if
For now, we have the career advice channel in the Discord.
Yeah. And we talked a little about getting like a GitHub up, but I think put the resumes on the website with your profile, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll have to figure out how to host PDF files just like we host images, but it'll be easier because it's a binary format. We don't have to worry about converting string to encoded base 64 for images, because that was a pain. Zach, I think that kind of wraps up all that I have. If you guys just want to chit chat, I'm down. I can, if we have more like technical stuff to talk about, I can keep the stream up. Otherwise, if we're just gonna chit chat, I can end it.
I don't have much to say. I kind of, I'm pretty tired today, so I might get off.
That is a-okay, buddy. Does anybody like? I know we're kind of down to the people that are left here, but if anybody has any questions, I feel like we've gone over a lot, and if some of you haven't been like keeping up on all the messages in Discord, some of it could be confusing.
No, this was a lot to take in, but I'm really glad that I was able to join.
Awesome, man. Good to
Yeah,
hear.
this was cool.
Sorry, I keep
I'm
talking
gonna-
over you guys.
No, that's totally fine. I'm gonna try and get Vapor set up.
Awesome. If you need help with that, let me know. I had to set it up on my Linux machine, so I had to do it from like scratch.
I guess what I'm
What
concerned,
did?
you said that I forget his name already. The front end person, he's gonna be working on most of the tickets. Uh, what tickets are on the table for like
For work.
everyone else?
So we have a couple problems, right? One, you kind of have to know the process that we've gone through to kind of decide what the website's going to be, right? So that's one of the problems. And two, if you don't know the styling, you're going to end up doing this work, and then we're going to say, oh, it doesn't look right. You're going to have to rework it. We don't want anybody to have to do rework because everybody hates rework. So as far as tickets that are available, I mean, like for creating a card container, creating like the base styled cards, for example, those might be a little bit more abstract. So I would look for tickets that come with a description, so that way you know they have some sort of requirements for you to use. So for example, login register page, that'd be a great one. Obviously we don't have like I linked the Figma for the styling. There's no styling there yet, but anybody can go in there and set up a form that has a username, password, and a button to log in.
Yeah, as long as we have really basic kind of boxed out or just laid out basic stuff, we can just add CSS later. Some people can worry about CSS, some people can worry about functionality, but really just trying to get stuff that you don't have to do rework. Yeah, like Sabian said. So
yeah, I think the reason Will kind of we've kind of relied on him. He's not a community manager, but he kind of took charge and kind of started working without us kind of telling him what to do. So if you see something that can be done and we don't kind of have something ready for it, ask about it. We'll try and help you get styling or whatever set up, and we can help you answer like how to make a request or whatnot. So like if you take charge and you see something that you want to do, we will help you try and figure out how to do it if there's not enough documentation for it.
Okay, sounds good.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll dive in a little bit more and see where I might be able to contribute.
Yeah, so as far as the back end goes, the code is like super duper clean and like broken out, so it should be like pretty easy to understand. But if it's not, like if you haven't done a whole lot of Swift, we can definitely do like next week. We could do a stream explaining how the back end is set up, or the front end is set up, so that way people can kind of hop onto the project quicker. And we don't. I guess we don't have to do a stream. Like if people are just curious how it's set up, I can just go ahead and set up a video explaining what everything does.
Sweet. I'll poke around and see if I can. It does look really clean. It's really nice to see other people's code look like that.
Zach and I we're not grammar Nazis. We're cleanliness Nazis.
Sweet. Well, I'm both, so it's this is really cool.
Perfect.
I think that's it from me. I appreciate you having the meeting. Yeah, like it was a pretty good experience. Actually joining on an open source project. This is my first one, so
Awesome, man. We love to have
hopefully
you.
this is yeah. Hopefully this is a well. I know this will be a really good learning experience, and like I said, I appreciate you guys doing this.
No problem, man. Thanks for coming. If you have any questions or you feel like you're stuck, just reach out to Zach or I.
Will do. All right, catch you guys later. You guys all have a good night.
You too, man. Bye.
See ya.
night.
Now y'all.
Well, boys, it appears that's the end of the stream. I feel like I'm ready to go play some video games.
There you go. I'm gonna go play some old school RuneScape. See you guys.
See you, boys.